Hi friends, it's Julia. I am here to share my Out with the Old and Layout share for my May 2022 Counterfeit Kit Challenge kit. Now this kit was inspired by a Bo Bunny Sweet Life collection from January of 2015. If you head over to the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog, you will find the link to that kit in their history. So yeah, head over and check it out. I pulled the kit together. It was for me a fairly large kit, but I knew I was going to do a collection cut-up series with RTS for National Scrapbook Day weekend. I did that, plus I did an additional 4 layouts. Yeah, an additional 4 layouts. I added in several neutral papers to take with me on a retreat with my sister, and I've cut into several. You know, I added quite a bit of cardstock to the pattern paper that I had to be able to complete layouts, and it worked out good. I'm very pleased with how many layouts I got. I'm very pleased with the product that I got used up. So let me show you what's left. I had added in as an afterthought, I believe as an afterthought, these 4 paper packs, and I did use quite a bit of these 2, these 3, maybe. I don't think I used this one at all, but I did use the others. I'm getting closer to getting those completely wrapped up. So as far as what came with the original kit, the pattern papers, I can take out all these border strips because they weren't in the original kit. This is it. This is all that I have left as far as the pattern papers, and these are all pocket page cards here that I had cut apart. These are going to go right into the bin. I'm not going to try and save those. And I have some smaller sheets of paper like these striped sheets. I'm not going to save those. These are pocket page cards. Leftover pieces of paper. Not much at all. I had added that in to basically cut apart that sheet, and I did quite a bit. These are a couple of the neutrals and the border strips of some paper that I added in. Those will go into my stash in my leftover bins, in my color bins, and I'm okay with that. Some of that paper from the original kit will also go back into my bins. I did add these die cuts as an afterthought, and I did use this one, but I did not use the butterfly, nor did I use this fancy frame here. I added in these 4 washi tapes, red, brown, light tan, wood tone with gold dots, and then this green and blue plaid, and I used a ton of those. This one is getting very close to the end. I'm excited for that. So is this one. Both of those are getting very close to the end. Alphabets, I used all that I had added in, but there's still plenty to make words with, so they are going back into my stash. This one has very little adhesive on it, and it kind of just, you can see all the letters jumbled up in there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it yet or not. I'm going to wait just a little bit and make up my mind. I used a couple of those tags basically to back some others, and then I used them a little bit in my scrapbooking. I have used a ton of these butterfly tickets, a ton of the floral tickets. I added all 3, the enamel dots and the hearts and flatback pearls. I used tons of. I had added in a couple of Freckled Fawn kits, and this is what I have left. I have some washi strips, a label, and the alphabet. Those will not be put back into kits per se. They will go right into my leftover bin. I had added in quite a few of these pocket page cards, and that's what I have left. I had added in these red butterflies, and I used quite a few. I had added in this package of 4x6 memos by For the Record, Echo Park, and I won't say I used a ton of them, but I did use them to some degree. Here's the other freckled fawn, and this is what I have left. Letter stickers and some washi strips. Yeah, all the other embellishments with those is gone. I had pulled in some border strips. Those will go back into my stash, as will these. I used quite a few of those. I used several more of the stickers from this sticker sheet. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left on this page. This sticker sheet, I have a part of 1 left on here, and then I have 1, 2, 3 left on here, and I may try and compress those onto one sheet. I may or may not save those, or save that one sheet. I don't know yet. This sheet I did not use at all. My chipboard sheets, I got a ton of use, but I can tell you right now, I'm probably not going to use the bulk of what's here. I know I'm going to pull out these glasses and this teacup. Maybe that ampersand and the letter B. Anything else on there is going in the trash. Same with this one. This entire thing is going in the trash. I might try and save this and this teacup and tea kettle, but the rest I think is going into the trash. As far as the embellishments that I added from my color bins and different things, let me show you. Let me get down here to the bottom of this pile. These are what I have left out of my color bins. I had punched these, so those will go into my leftover bin. I had punched these out with a die, and that's leftover bits and pieces. I didn't want to throw those away in case I wanted to use them. They have a fancy edge on them, and they're not completely stark raving white, and I punched them out of those pocket page cards. So I want to keep those and hang on to them. I made a couple of embellishments. There's those two. They're pretty frou-frou, but they'll go into my stash to be used somewhere. I have very few bits and pieces. I have some cameras. I have some of these, what do you call them? Negatives or film slides. I have a piece that I'd punched. There's one of the chipboard pieces. I think it'll go into the trash. Here's this piece that I have. It'll go back into my stash. Some additional things that I have stamped and fussy cut or used die cuts on. And then these are all the butterflies from the pattern paper that I added in as my inspiration sheet, as well as some that I had previously punched. I have die cut out, I have punched out some hearts, and there's some butterflies that I have stamped, or sorry, punched from some scraps. Let me show you my empties, because there's a ton of empties. Let me show you what I'm throwing away here. That's it. That's all the paper. There's packaging and stuff that will go in the trash, but that's it for papers. Packaging wise, these are the packages for the Freckled Fawn kits. There's some wood veneer that I had pulled in. This was some of the papers, I believe. Here is the original punch out sheet for the butterflies that I added in. This was an alphabet set. That was this gold set. I had compressed it all down into that one package because there was very few here. These are Adorn It stickers. I used those up. That was a carrier sheet for some of those green hearts I finished off. These are Pink Paisley's borders, the bees on there. Finished that out. More wood shapes that I finished off. These are enamel dots from Freckled Fawn, washi strips, more washi strips, label stickers. And I think that's it. That's all the packaging that's going into the trash. That feels so amazing. Give me a second and I will show you the layouts that I completed. Okay, here is what I have. This is for layout number 1. And you can see it's a pretty simple layout, really. And I do have videos for each of these. It's not a full process video. It just shows you with the product that I started with and then the layout, and I talk a little bit more about my process where I put it together at the end of the video. So you're more than welcome to go over to my playlist called May 2022 and you will find each video for each of these layouts. And I will tell you, I was inspired by Janet's series over at RTS on her Patreon channel called Collection Cut-Ups. So here we go, and this is a collection, y'all, that I had pulled together from my stash. I thought there was a paper pack, but there wasn't. These were all papers that I pulled in from my stash, I believe. Anywho, so here we go. That's the first layout, and you can see I cut up a ton of those flowers. I used tons of border strips. I love the fact that I can get so many embellishments on these pages without, to me, it doesn't look overly busy. It may look overly busy to you, but so far I'm not thinking so. This was layout 2. This is the only one that I'm probably not happy with, and I think it's because of how I put Happy 32 on that card, and it did not, these two did not fit, and I didn't want it to completely overlap onto the photo, and so I wasn't happy with how this was. I should have probably put it just down here on top of that little thing. Anyway, I love that I got so much of stuff that I have created, like these stamped images, these stamped little buttons here and here. Things that are important to me as far as things that I loved and wanted to keep in my stash and I've held on to for a while. Scraps of paper. I can remember using those papers on different layouts, bits and pieces that I've punched out over here. Again, more things that I have punched out, things that I have kept in my stash for years on end because I love the pattern paper or I love the embellishment. That is off that boys collection from Echo Park. I just cut the title off the branding strip and then kept it, and then I ended up backing it with some additional ticket shapes in the background. I hang on to pieces that I absolutely love, papers that I adore and don't want to get rid of. This is a 2-pager and it goes like this. And it turned out wonderful. Again, I used lots of different things, chipboard pieces and butterflies and that title across the top there, more chipboard pieces, things that I don't think I normally would have used. That's a piece of a pocket page card down there. I'm not sure I would have used that in that regard if it had not been for the challenge of doing this. This is something that I had cut out years ago from a collection, like one of those knockoff collections at Michael's. It was on a cut apart sheet and I kept that, and I'm glad I have finally gotten it onto a layout. This lamp, I don't think I would have ever found a place to use it. Really, it really represents scrapbooking in a hotel room because, you know, everything is by lamplight. They don't have overhead lights. Unless you have good window light and you bring your own, you're doing everything by lamplight. Here is layout 4. This is one of those that I absolutely adore because it has a ton of scraps on it. All of these border strips, they may not span the whole of this page, but there's enough here that it feels like it spans the whole of the page. Same with these pieces on either side. They don't span the whole of the page. They're cut down in the middle so that I can stretch them out some. I also love taking these 4x6 pieces. I think it was 4.5 by 5.5 or something. These pieces from that one Stampin' Up! 4x6, this paper pack. Anyway, it had like a big journal spot or something. I think I still have one, maybe. And it wasn't nice. I don't have any more in there. It wasn't nice. It wasn't anything I was ever going to use. And I was able to use that to mount my photos. So I love being able to do that. I still have some blank spots in here where I want to go back and add some dates or some journaling in. Or if my daughter-in-law wants to do any journaling on the layouts, that's fine too. Layout 5. Now this is one that is made to go with the next one as a companion page, or no, the previous one, where it says she bakes here. This one says Wookiee cakes because my daughter-in-law made my son a Wookiee birthday cake from Star Wars. Yes, my son is Star Wars crazy. So you can see I carried across some of, like, this paper is carried across to here. It has some tags across the top, some chipboard pieces, some butterflies, some of this strip of the pink paisley strips that are there. Yeah, so you have some of the same feels. These will go as companion pages in the album, even though they aren't a double page layout. They are companion pages. So that works out nicely when you can do that. I love how that layout turned out. This is layout 6, so it is a double page layout, and it goes like this. It's just a happy birthday layout, and again, I love that I was able to use so much, like pocket page cards that I wasn't going to use the pocket page. I was able to punch out pieces. These are things that I have stamped and previously fussy cut. Again, more things that I had stamped. This is a journal spot that I had just held on to for years because I love the look of it. I love the texture of it. Yeah, and so I was able to get a ton of use from that, or from those products that I have held on to. I love going through my color bins and finding stuff that I'm able to use on pages now that might be 20 years old. This one I love. Again, I used a lot of scraps of paper to go along the top, and then my clusters I love. All of the floral embellishment, you know, I fussy cut from that one piece of paper, and that's something that I had previously stamped. That is an embellishment piece that I made, oh gosh, a bazillion years ago, where I was playing with Heidi Swap Color Shine, the gold mist, and spraying it. I sprayed multiple colors. I went on a paper sack, just playing around. I had sprayed a green color mist, like a Tattered Angels, and then I went over it with a color mist, the Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine, to see what it would do. So you get just a touch of that color shining through in those, that greenish color, but then you get that lovely gold on top. And then I punched some shapes, butterflies and circles and things. And I made those. I think I had a circle punch, I had a butterfly punch, and maybe a scallop circle punch. And I really didn't have a ton of punches, but that was made with my first punches. That's an acetate piece here that I have held on to for years. I love doing that, guys. I love hanging on to those embellishments. This is layout 8. Again, I love having this piece of paper that has stretched through so many layouts. And this really is one of those. The center cluster is not necessarily my favorite, but I love the overall feel of the page, and it's a done page. So of the layouts that I created with this kit, this may not be my favorite one, but the subject matter makes it my absolute favorite. You know what I mean? This is a double page, and it's my son's birthday again. And so here you can see I used a ton of embellishment. These wood frames and these stickers underneath, those Adorn It stickers, I held on to those for years, y'all. Here's a lot of things that I have that are from my color bins that I've held on to for years. I love that I've still got a ton of these notebook edge journal spots in my stash. And I still use them. You know, that's the beauty of having some of this older stuff. I still use it. This is a cut apart tag from an older collection. I don't even remember what it was now, but I held on to it because I love the colors in it. And guess what? I finally got it used. So that makes it worthwhile, makes it worth holding on to me. This is another one where you have those horizontal strips on one side of the page, and then the centerpiece is the photo, but then you have these clusters around it that represent the look and feel of the person in the photos. Does that make sense? Things that are important to him, time and a bike, travel. This is layout number 10, and I love that I'm able to use washi tape and border strips and scraps of paper to create this. These are not connected back here in the back. Those are scraps. Those are like 3x4 cut out, so I have one here and one here. And I love being able to do that. And then I have multiple layers back in here. I have pocket page cards. I have little bits and pieces from those Adorn It tags. Those are really the cutoff pieces, and there's another piece down here. They're just the cutoff pieces that normally you would throw away, but I didn't. That's something that I fussy cut, stamped and fussy cut years ago. Same with these. Those are really old, y'all. This is layout number 11. I love this layout. Love this layout. I think you wouldn't necessarily think these as, because they're water photos, you wouldn't necessarily think that they would go along with the paper that I chose, but I think it worked out well. And I was able to pull the colors across the page and make it all work together. At least I think so. Not everybody's going to think so, but I love how this page turned out. But there's very few that I don't love how they turned out. This is layout 12. That's my second page of layout 12. And it goes like this. Again, there's another one of those pocket page titles that say Little Moments. You remember on the previous one, I had cut out that whole bottom strip and used it there to create my title. But here, I just went around it. I fussy cut around it. So I really love that how it looks like that. I layered up fussy cut flowers. Again, this paper you wouldn't necessarily think would work with water pictures, but it works. It all works together. And I love how this feels all together. This is layout number 13. This is a bonus page, if you will. Again, more of the photos, the water photos, and I love this because I'm using so many scraps. If you look down the side of this page, oh my goodness, look at all of those scraps. Oh, I just can't believe it. I love doing layouts like this where I'm getting use of my scraps and I'm not throwing them in the trash. This is layout 14, another bonus layout. Again, more scraps of paper and washi strips and border strips, and yeah. Love how this one turned out. 15 is another bonus layout. Again, tons more scrap pieces down here all along the bottom, and then I created these clusters in each area using the leftovers of what I have. By this time, I was getting really tired of looking at this paper. I had done all the other 14 prior to coming back to this kit. I had done them several weeks ago, and then I put the kit away and then came back to it and did this layout. And by this one, I'm like going, I'm getting kind of tired and I don't have as many embellishments and stuff, and it's not as fun. It's fun to see what you can create with what you have left, but it's not as fun as when you have a ton to choose from. But I love how this turned out. Y'all know I love my layouts. This is layout 16. I did not do a video for this one. It's the only one you won't find a video on that playlist for, but I love this one. It is plain, it is simple, yet it has a really frou-frou embellishment down here on the bottom. It is multi-layered embellishment down here. I did add in this burlap here. I pulled in some additional dies to I pulled in additional dies, like there's a stitch circle and then a scalloped edge circle, and then this banner down here that has stitched edging on it. I pulled those in order to give it some additional texture. That is one of the fancy frames that I had in the collection when I pulled the kit together and just never used it. I cut down some of that paper to create my original inspiration paper to create my tag with, and then I put one of the little yellow tags back behind it to give it some texture to make it hold up, because this embellishment is kind of heavy. The burlap is and this pink circle here are stapled on, and then everything else is glued on top of that. So, and then I created ribbon with my washi strips. Yeah, I love how that one turned out, but y'all know I'm a broken record when it comes to saying I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. But I really do. There's only one layout in here that I would, if I had to choose to redo it, I would do something different with the center cluster. But for the most part, y'all, I wouldn't change anything. These are done and ready to go into the album. And so I am not going to knock that at all. I love when I can get so many layouts done with a kit. There's 16 layouts here. Can you believe that? I made 16 layouts with this kit, and I have enough to do more, but I'm done. I'm tired of working with this kit. I'm tired of trying to figure out how I'm going to pull things together to create a layout, and I'm okay with that. It's all good. If you want to see the other layouts that I created using this kit, please check out my May 2022 playlist on my YouTube channel, and you will see them all there. If this interests you, making pages with older stash, you know, or with stash products in general, please feel free to subscribe, because I do that a lot, y'all. I get some new stuff in, but I really like to dig deep sometimes and pull in some much older stuff. It really inspires me to get things done. And if that's what inspires you, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you around. And if you hit that notification button, you will be notified every time that I post a new video. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.